Going to call this meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Call for the acceptance of the minutes of the July 21st, 2020 meeting.
So move.
Second.
Second. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries unanimous. Acceptance of the minutes of the July 31st special meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries. Public forum for this evening? There's no one for the public forum. We'll go on to reports and correspondence of board members. I have nothing for this evening. Board membership? Nobody? We will go on to Superintendent Lisa Wiles.
Yeah, I have a few updates this evening that I'd like to share. A week ago, this past Friday, the governor made some announcements with regard to reopening schools. And while he did give permission for schools to open on August 7th, the following week, he provided some more guidance for schools. In order for schools to open, school districts were mandated to come up with a COVID testing procedure and protocol, and a contact tracing procedure and protocol. Our plan that we put up on July 31st on the portal, we had received no information back that there was any problem with it at all. It was filed, and we had no issue with that. The governor's additional requirements with regard to contact tracing and testing really put us in a very in a predicament about how to get that done, since those are not responsibilities that public schools usually have with regard to COVID testing. As a matter of fact, the guidance from both the New York State Education Department and also the Department of Health were pretty clear that we could rely heavily on our local health department and our local governments. I will say that after many discussions the county superintendents had with the county executive and the health department, we do have a framework that they provided to us last Thursday that we'll be able to fold in the plan. That requirement and the idea of what school could look like with regard to testing and students and staff members possibly getting ill during the school year and possibly isolating and having to quarantine led us to a very difficult decision to put off the hybrid model of in-person learning until October 5th. Letters have gone out to our parents and families. We've had very mixed reviews. We have families that want full remote instruction, which we put out that they needed to contact us, I believe, by the 21st. We've gotten quite a few responses that parents wanted that to happen. We had just as many responses from parents that want school to be open and have their kids come to school. It's a very difficult decision. I can tell you that every decision that we're looking at and that we've had to make over the last month since the guidance came out on the 13th and the 16th, respectively, have not been easy. And one thing we have learned is not any decision is going to make any majority of anybody, staff or parents, happy. Our priority is the health and safety of our kids and our staff, making sure there's equity in educational opportunities, and being able to provide the best possible education under these terrible circumstances. I have a few comments about where we are and how we got here. This is a pandemic, and nobody's choosing to be on remote learning. This is not really a choice that we're embracing. This is not the way students should be learning. They should be in the buildings. We are responding to a national and state crisis, doing the best we can with the guidance we've received from the governor and the guidance we've received from the health department. There are difficult decisions that get made, and we're making them in the best interest of our community and our kids. So, as a result of going to a full remote for a month, and we have every intention of getting school open on October 5th, But we have to remember, and I say it over and over, and people keep throwing it up, that I'm saying flexible and fluid, and we all have to be flexible. I don't know what's going to happen by October 5th. I do know that we're committed to getting students back in this building as soon as we can, safely. So our intention is to open the building up. So we have a dilemma that's come up with regard to, being fully remote. There are questions that came up in today's meeting with parents and other meetings with staff that have also been mandated by the governor with regard to what happens to our part-time people and our support staff. So a decision has been discussed, and we are going to defer any kind of furlough or layoff for the month of September. All staff will report to the buildings. All staff will have activities and tasks that will be assigned to them within the building. This is a decision that's been made for a month. We'll come back and revisit it. This decision doesn't come easy either for anybody, whether, and I'm not speaking for the board, but I'm telling you that the discussions across all staff, all parents, with regard to any of this, these are very difficult, trying times for all of us. And we have huge responsibilities to taxpayers, to kids, to students that have to be balanced in a way that, we can provide education. I would be remiss if I did not discuss the lack of resources and the state aid cuts that have been thrust upon this district and other districts. We were behind the 8 ball to begin with the foundation aid that's been shorted to this district over a period of 10 years. We just made up the foundation aid. I get, and I'm not naive to the fact that the state has huge economic woes. I will not be accused of not understanding that and not understanding the real economic trials and tribulations that we all have in this country and in this state. However, we're dealing with the education, public education of our students, and there are a lot of things at risk here. And I think that funding our schools to the best of our ability are really important. I also want to say that, we have still not heard anything officially about the 20% cut that was thrown out there. The June 30th look back and the April 1st look back have come and gone. And the only thing that we have heard, and it's surely not been official from anybody's office, is that our July state aid payment has been reduced temporarily. There's been a hold on 20% of it. So while there's been no official cut of 20%, we are 20% down from our July payment. And we don't know when we're getting that back. And again, I will tell you, I'm not naive to the fact that we have issues in our state financially and economically. But I can tell you that the onus that has been put on the districts in the state with regard to purchasing PPE, safety equipment, masks, putting protocols in place, buying plastic barriers, none of this there's been no discussion of supporting school districts. And when the governor and the Division of Budget talk about our fund balances and why they're too high, this is exactly why school districts need to keep high fund balances, because when things like this happen and there's no money and there's no support for school districts, it's a disgrace. No matter what it is, we are dealing with our precious resources in this state. And I'm not getting off this soapbox. We're focusing on doing what we can with what we have. But enough is enough. And when the time is right to fund schools, it needs to be done, and it needs to be done right. We should not be this crisis should not be used to defund public education. And I will not be quiet about it. Everybody's doing more with less. We're keeping a track of all the expenses related to COVID that it's costing this district. What savings we have, what savings we don't. There are people that are hurting in this district in all different types of ways, and we're all working together to get there. So right now, we're going to pause for the month. We're going to bring people in, do as much as we can to prepare ourselves for October 5th. We plan on rolling our buses and having our remote instruction. With regard to our reopening plan, we do have a plan in place. It will be modified by Friday. There are changes that are going to be posted up there. The significant change will include the testing protocols and the contact tracing guidelines that we received from the county. I really want to thank the executive's office and the county health's office for providing the support. I think that they've been a great help for all of us. We will continue to follow the governor's directives and the state education's directives. We will be having we had a parent meeting today. We answered about 54 questions, and we think there were about 50 parents that were on a YouTube call. It's been a YouTube Live, our YouTube channel, which you can go watch. Those meetings are taped in there. I can tell you we're doing another one tomorrow at 6 o'clock. There's a form that's on our website and will also be projected up on the YouTube channel so that you can click onto the channel and actually type in questions live, and we will answer every question that comes through. I have received many calls, and so has the administrators from parents in this district, and I have personally tried to call as many parents back as I could, and I know our principals are doing the same thing. We're taking communication with our parents and our families extraordinarily seriously. I would just ask that people have patience because, I know people want calls back personally, and we're doing that. It's just taking us some time to get to everybody. We'll continue to do that over the period of time. For parents that are listening and parents that are out there, I really need to encourage you to contact us and be in constant contact with your building office, the teachers, as we open up with remote learning. We want to know who has internet, who is having problems with internet. The town's been a great help tapping into Spectrum for us and Verizon and other agencies, trying to provide as much support as families need to get access to the internet. We know it's our obligation. We're taking that extraordinarily seriously. We really need you to help, and we need families to come together and help your kids get engaged here. This is different than it was March, April, May, and June. We need students to be online, and if they can't be online, we need contact. We need them to be engaged in learning. This is not pass-fail, for a few months. This is actual synchronous live instruction. The teachers have really engaged in the professional development that we have put together for them this summer with regard to Google Classroom. I'm really proud of the work that they're doing and stepping up to get involved in that over the entire summer, but specifically for the last, couple of weeks. It's going well. Ms. White will talk about that in more length when, she speaks, but we need a concerted effort. This community comes together. We rise to the occasion. Parents have to make sure that their kids are engaged in learning. And we will be contacting you. We will be providing whatever support we can. Our meals again will be provided. You can pick them up. There'll be documentation coming out, letters coming out. Please check, our Facebook page, our internet, our website, and really contact your offices. Meals will be provided to all of our students, breakfast and lunch. They'll be delivered or they can be picked up. We're really stepping this up. We know we have a huge obligation, and everyone is working together to make sure that we provide the best we can with what we have. And, when this is over, and it will be over, we also need to come together and continue to advocate for the proper funding for our school district. Remote learning works well in school districts that are not high needs. The governor said that himself. And if he believes that, then he needs to fund the rest of us to make sure that we can do this right. And I feel very strongly about it. And, I'm disgusted with the rhetoric that goes on both sides and all of this. We need to come together for our kids, and we need to do what's right for the education of our students in this community. So please keep in touch with us. And if you have questions, call our offices, email us, and please take part in the parent meetings that we have. We're going to continue to have them. That's all I have tonight.
Thank you. Assistant Superintendent for Business, Mr. Napoli.
Thank you. There are three things that I'd like to talk about. There is a form on our website for those families that want food delivery. You need to sign up for that so that we know that you want food delivered. The actual dates and times or days of the week, that has yet to be determined, but I need to know how many families will need food delivery. There are two things in my report, one of which I'll need some help with one of you to talk about. But one is talk about the collection of taxes, which starts very soon. And one of the things we'll be doing is putting an insert in the tax bill, just encouraging people to pay their taxes by check. People will have to come, if they pay their taxes through the tax collector, they're going to have to be screened in order to be able to come into the building. Will require social distancing. In addition to that, people will be able to pay their taxes online now. You can pay by credit card. There's a surcharge, but there's also a way to do e-checks. Think about it if you pay your federal or state taxes, where they actually take the money from your bank account. There's only a flat $1.50 fee. So there's a lot of different ways that people can pay their taxes this year. And then the third thing I'd like to talk about, and I'll ask Jody for some help, but we've attended some meetings regarding the Farm to School grant, the planning grant that's actually been going very well, in addition to what Jody and I have participated in, which is our local region. I've done about 8 hours worth of professional development and meetings with the whole Farm to School organization, everybody within New York State. In my report, we did put together a vision statement for the Farm to School grant, and we tied it directly into the school's vision statement. So if you get a minute to take a look at that, it doesn't have to be now, but that would be great. And then we had some goals and some other things that we're discussing and that we are discussing. I don't know if I've missed anything, Jody, that you want to add.
I have a question for this.
Go ahead. And then
So if I read correctly what I was reading about establishing a wellness committee, but we already have a wellness committee, so.
Right. I asked them to fix that, but they hadn't updated it since I asked them to fix that. And they know, the person that's working over at Ellenville Regional Hospital, they know they actually participated in our wellness committee. I asked them to change that sentence to, we have a wellness committee and we just want to get them more involved. And we've actually talked about the Farm to School grant at the last couple of wellness committee meetings that we had.
So you will be using the wellness committee that's already set up?
That's right.
And just to clarify it. Okay.
That's right.
Okay, very good. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Good? That's all I have. Thank you. Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction, Mrs. Kelly White.
Good evening. I have two things that I'm going to be reporting out on. The first is regarding the August 2020 professional development workshops that we recently organized for the instructional staff. So we currently have 2 providers providing both on-site and virtual professional development offerings. We have a technology specialist from Ulster BOCES and 3 technology specialists from a company, Techquipment. We're offering 23 different workshops for a total of 72 sessions. So some of those workshops are being offered multiple times. As I said, these workshops are available on-site and virtually. In addition to the technology workshops, they are providing opportunities for teachers to just have walk-in technology support where they can come with any of their questions, or if they've worked on creating something over the last 2 weeks that they want some additional guidance with, the specialists will be available to support them with that. Additionally, we rolled out today that teachers have access to Otis, which is the online teaching instructional support website, which will have videos to all of the professional development workshops that are being offered over the 2-week period, in addition to other topics that may be of interest to support distance learning. As of last week, we had 98 teachers enrolled in these workshops for a total of about 1,200 hours of professional development. Additionally, rolled out yesterday was the curriculum modification project that was discussed back at the end of July. So we have teachers from most grade levels. We have a couple of vacancies still waiting to be picked up. We have most teachers working on modifying the curriculum to identify the most essential standards that need to be taught this year, as well as identifying the key standards that may have been not properly addressed last year to make sure students are addressing them this year so that they're prepared to learn the content required that is essential this year, and also make sure that they're prepared going into next year. So the work for that will be taking place over the next 2 weeks and submitting their completed work by August 28th to be distributed to teachers at the start of September.
Thank you. We will move on to personnel resolutions for this evening. Under 5.1, upon the recommendation superintendent of schools, be it resolved that Carl Garrett be appointed the mentor program coordinator for the 2021 school year at an annual stipend of $7,875.
So moved.
Second.
Move to seconded discussion. Iris?
I'm just curious how many teachers will be mentored this year?
I believe so far it's 3.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries. 5.2, upon the recommendation of superintendent of schools, be it resolved that Allison Chapin and Rowan Kuntz be appointed as academic mentors for the Brighter Futures Initiative program at a rate of $43 per hour worked in the 2021 school year.
So moved.
Second.
Then moved and seconded. Discussion? Wayne?
Is there a maximum number of hours for this?
I don't know, but I will get that information for you. I think that it was in one of the prior packets when Frank Mulhern, there was a proposal that was approved by the board, but we'll pull it out for you so you have it again.
Jody and then Iris?
So 5.2 and 5.3 are both grants, correct?
5.2 and 5.3 are all related to the Brighter
But
Futures.
they're a grant. That's not coming out of
That's
our
correct.
budget, correct?
That's right. We're not paying for this. We're being reimbursed from the Brighter Futures Initiative grant.
Okay, thank you.
Iris?
I'm good. That was my question.
Anybody else? Not. All those in favor? Willie?
Sleep.
Geneva?
Geneva's up.
Okay. Willie, your vote?
Mr. President,
Your vote on the motion? Okay, we have, yeah. I can't count it
I know,
again
I
here,
know.
so we can only count what we have, so it'll be at the table. 5.3. Upon the recommendation of superintendent of schools, be it resolved that Sarah Kraft and John Paulson be appointed as community life mentors for the Brighter Future Initiative program at a rate of $31 per hour work for the 2021 school year.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Willie?
in favor.
In favor. Okay, we got you on that one. 5.4, upon the recommendation of superintendent of schools, be it resolved the appointment of Joseph Pensabini, building and grounds maintenance worker, be made permanent following a successful extended probationary period of 6 months effective September 23rd, 2020.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carried unanimously.
Is Geneva on or not?
No, Geneva's not. She left the meeting.
She did leave.
Willie?
The only one is Willie.
In favor.
Thank you. 5.5, upon the recommendation of superintendent of schools, be resolved that Kelly White be approved as foster care point of contact person with no additional remuneration. Moved and seconded. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Willie?
In favor.
Motion carries unanimous. 5.6, upon the recommendation of superintendent of schools, be resolved that Annette Steele be approved as a one-to-one aide to accompany students number 27793 and 25874 off the bus, not to exceed 52 hours at a rate of $21.86 per hour work for the 1920 school year. Moved?
Second.
Second? Discussion?
What were the number of hours that were completed? If you don't have it, it's okay.
The number of hours?
Yeah, it was a max of 52, so I was just wondering what the,
I think it was 52.
okay, thank you.
Anybody else? All those in favor? Willie?
In favor.
5.7, final recommendation, superintendent of schools be resolved that the resignation of Bonnie Doolittle, cafeteria monitor, be accepted for the purposes of retirement effective August 31st, 2020 with regret.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? No one? Motion carries unanimous. Budget resolutions under tax warrant. Resolved that the attached 2021 school tax warrant be approved as written.
Motion to move 6-1.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion? All those in favor? Willie?
In favor.
7.1, resolve the attached list of student IEPs be acknowledged as
Motion to
appropriate.
move the list as presented.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion? All those in favor? Willie?
In favor.
Opposed? Motion carries. Under construction,
Motion to move 8 and 2.
Second.
moved and seconded. Discussion? All those in favor? Willie? Willie? What's at the table? 7.
In favor.
Okay, we got it. There you go. Under 9, other.
Motion to move 9-1 and 9-2.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion? All those in favor? Willie?
In favor.
In favor. Okay, motion carries unanimous. The next meeting is scheduled for September 1st. Mark your calendars. Wish everybody to enjoy the last couple of weeks of what is to be summer, left of summer. Anybody want anything on the next agenda? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Willie?
In favor.
We're adjourned.
Have a good night, folks.
Yeah. Thank you.
Really?